I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me at my sister's engagement dinner. And the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was realizing my own family had known before I did and chose to stay quiet. The night started like something out of a perfect family album. Warm lights strung across the backyard, the smell of grilled food in the air, relatives laughing too loudly after too much wine. My parents had gone all out because this was a big moment. My younger sister Ria's engagement. She was marrying into money, real money, the kind that changes how people look at you once they know. Big house, family business, overseas trips, inheritance level wealth. My parents were glowing like they'd personally won something. I was standing near the drinks table, holding a beer I hadn't touched, watching my girlfriend, Ananya, laugh with my cousins. She looked beautiful that night. She always did, but that evening she seemed especially relaxed, confident, like she belonged there. We'd been together almost 4 years. We lived together, talked about marriage in that vague, not now, but someday way couples do when they think they have time. I remember thinking, this is it. This is my life settling into place. That thought makes me feel stupid now. Everything changed because of the phone. Not even my phone. Hers. Ananya had asked me earlier to hold her clutch while she went to help my mom in the kitchen. I didn't think twice. I was scrolling aimlessly, waiting when her phone buzzed. I wasn't trying to snoop. The screen lit up on its own. A name flashed across the screen. Rohit Red Heart. That alone wouldn't have destroyed me. People have friends, co-workers, dumb nicknames. But the preview message did the damage. Can't stop thinking about last night. Seeing you with him today is torture. My stomach dropped so fast it felt physical, like missing a step on the stairs. I stared at the screen, hoping my brain was misfiring, that I'd read it wrong. Another message popped up. Meet me after dinner. Same place. I locked the phone immediately, my hands shaking. My ears were ringing, the laughter around me turning distant, distorted. I remember my first instinct wasn't anger. It was embarrassment. A deep, burning humiliation, like everyone else could somehow already see it written across my face. I told myself there had to be an explanation. There always is, right? That's what people say when they don't want to believe what's right in front of them. Ananya came back smiling, wiping her hands on a napkin. Sorry, Mom pulled me into chopping duty, she said, leaning in to kiss my cheek. I flinched. She noticed. Of course she did. What's wrong? Who's Rohit? I asked quietly. Her smile froze. Just for a second. But I saw it. That tiny pause before the mask went back on. What? She said, laughing lightly. Rohit? From work. What? Why is he thinking about last night? Why is seeing you with me torture? Her face drained of color. For a moment, the noise of the party seemed to rush back in, like the world was cruelly continuing while mine cracked open. She opened her mouth, then closed it, looked around, lowered her voice. Not here. Please, can we talk later? That was the moment I knew. People who are innocent don't ask for later. I wanted to yell. I wanted to throw her phone into the yard and watch it shatter. Instead, I nodded like an idiot. Sure, later. She squeezed my arm gratefully, like I'd done her a favor. I don't remember much of the rest of the evening. I know my sister pulled me aside at one point, glowing in her engagement outfit, asking if everything was okay. I told her I was just tired. She hesitated, like she wanted to say something else, then smiled and let it go. That hesitation comes back to haunt me. After dinner, speeches started. My father clinked his glass, launched into a long, emotional talk about family, loyalty, values. Words that felt like a slap with every sentence. I kept watching Ananya. She was texting, smiling down at her phone, tucking it away when she noticed me looking. At some point, she leaned over and whispered, I'm going to step out for some air. I followed her. The night was cooler, quieter near the gate. She turned as soon as we were out of sight, crossing her arms like she was bracing herself. Before you say anything, she started, I didn't plan for you to find out like this. That sentence told me everything. How long? I asked. She looked down. A few months. A few months. While we lived together. While she told me she loved me. While she met my parents, attended family events, planned holidays. What? My voice cracked despite my effort to stay calm. She shrugged, tears forming. It just happened. He listens to me. He makes me feel seen. I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound. I've been with you for 4 years. I know, she said quickly, and I love you. I do. But things got complicated. Complicated. Another word people use to soften cruelty. And you're meeting him tonight? I asked. She didn't answer immediately. That was answer enough. Something inside me shut down. Go, I said. Don't come back. Her head snapped up. What? You heard me. Go meet him. Don't come back to our place. We're done. She cried. She begged. She said it didn't have to end like this. I told her it already had. She left. I stood there alone, listening to music and laughter from my parents' backyard, feeling like I was underwater. Eventually, I went back inside. No one noticed anything was wrong. Or maybe they did and pretended not to. That's when the second betrayal began to surface. Over the next few days, the breakup fallout was brutal. Ananya moved out while I was at work. Took some furniture, left a note saying she was sorry. Mutual friends started acting weird, distant, awkward. Then my cousin Neha called me. Can I ask you something? She said carefully. Sure. Did you really not know about Ananya and Rohit? My grip tightened on the phone. No what? There was a pause. Oh, God, I thought. I'm so sorry. What did you think? I asked. That you knew. Everyone thought you knew. Everyone. I drove to my parents' house that night. I didn't call ahead. My mom opened the door, surprised but smiling. You should have told us you were coming. I walked straight into the living room. My dad was watching TV. My sister was there too, scrolling on her phone. How long did you know? I asked. They all looked at me blankly. Know what? My mom asked. About Ananya cheating on me. Silence. My sister's phone slipped from her hand onto the couch. That was enough. I laughed again, bitter. Wow, so that long. My mom sat down slowly. We didn't know, for sure. But you suspected, I said. My dad sighed. We heard things. From who? From Ria's fiancé's family. My sister said quietly. Rohit is connected to them. Business circles overlap. The room felt smaller. So you heard rumors, I said, about my girlfriend cheating on me with a guy connected to the family we're trying to impress, and you said nothing. My mom reached for my hand. I pulled away. We didn't want to ruin the engagement, she said. Everything was already so stressful. There it is, I said. That's the reason. It wasn't like that, my dad said defensively. We thought it might blow over. She was living with me. I snapped. She was lying to my face every day. And we thought, my sister said, voice trembling, that if we told you and it turned out to be wrong, you'd hate us. So instead, you let me look like a fool. No one argued. That night, something in me broke in a way the breakup alone never could. Because betrayal from a partner hurts. But betrayal from your own family rewires how safe the world feels. Over the next few weeks, more truths came out. Rohit wasn't just some fling. He was being quietly positioned by Ria's future in-laws as family. Invitations, dinners, smiles. They all knew, and they all chose comfort over honesty. I stopped coming around. My parents called constantly, left voicemails, apologies mixed with guilt tripping. My sister texted long messages about how she needed me at the wedding, how family was everything. Family. That word started to feel hollow. One evening, I got an unexpected call from a lawyer. Mr. Sharma, he said, I'm calling regarding your grandmother's will. My heart skipped. My grandmother had passed away 6 months earlier. We've been close. Very close. There's been a delay due to some paperwork, he continued, but it's been resolved. I wanted to inform you that you're listed as a primary beneficiary. Primary? Beneficiary. I sat down slowly. What does that mean exactly? It means, he said, that a significant portion of her estate was left to you. The timing felt unreal. Later that night, my mom called again. Her tone was different this time. Softer. Careful. We heard from the lawyer, she said, about the will. Of course they did. I think, she added, it will be good for us to talk. Properly. As a family. I stared at the wall, understanding something chillingly clear. This wasn't just about love or loyalty anymore. This was about money. And I had a feeling they were about to choose sides again. When my mom said, It would be good for us to talk. Properly. As a family. I knew that sentence had nothing to do with healing. It was a negotiation disguised as love. I didn't respond that night. I let the phone ring until it stopped, then sat there in my apartment, lights off, replaying everything in my head. On Anya's face when I confronted her. My sister's silence. My parents choosing convenience over truth. And now my grandmother's will, surfacing like a loaded gun placed gently on the table. My grandmother, Nanny, had always been different from the rest of them. She saw through people. She used to say, "Watch who stays quiet when you're being wronged. Silence is a decision." I didn't understand that fully until now. 2 days later, I agreed to meet my parents and my sister. Neutral ground, a cafe halfway between our places. I arrived early. Old habit. They came together, another habit. United front. My mom hugged me, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. My dad gave a stiff nod. My sister avoided my eyes. We ordered coffee. Small talk tried and failed to breathe between us. Finally, my dad cleared his throat. "We want to apologize." Properly. I waited. "We handle things badly," my mom said. "We should have told you about the rumors." "Rumors?" I repeated. "You still calling them that?" She flinched. "We didn't have proof." "You had enough to protect yourselves," I said. "That was proof enough." My sister finally looked at me. Her eyes were red. "I wanted to tell you," she said quickly. "I swear. But everything was happening so fast with the engagement and... And what?" I asked. "You were scared your rich in-laws would be uncomfortable?" She swallowed. "Yes." At least she was honest. There was a pause before my dad spoke again. "About your grandmother's will." There it was. "She made her decisions long before she passed," he continued. "But this changes things." "Ow," I asked. "Well," my mom said gently, "there are expectations. Family responsibilities." I leaned back in my chair. "Spell it out." My dad sighed. "The house, the land, the investments. They were supposed to support all of us. Ria's wedding, our retirement." "But she left it to me," I said. "Yes," my mom said quickly. "But that doesn't mean you can't share." Share. Another soft word. Like complicated. Like later. "Did Nanny tell you why she did it?" I asked. They exchanged looks. "She said," my sister said quietly, "that you were the only one who wouldn't be influenced." That hit harder than I expected. My dad frowned. She was old. Sometimes her reasoning. "Don't," I snapped. "Don't do that." Silence settled again. "So what exactly do you want?" I asked. My mom took a breath. "We want to make things right. Start fresh. You come back home more often. Be involved in the wedding. And when the assets are transferred, we manage them together." There it was. Control wrapped in reconciliation. "And if I say no?" I asked. My dad's jaw tightened. "Then you're choosing money over family." I laughed, sharp and humorless. "No, I'd be choosing myself over people who already chose something else over me." My sister reached across the table. "Please, I need you at my wedding. Did you need me when you knew my girlfriend was sleeping with someone else?" I asked. She pulled her hand back like she'd been burned. That meeting ended with tears, frustration, and no resolution. But one thing was clear, they weren't done. The pressure escalated quickly after that. Relatives started calling. Aunts I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly remembered my number. Cousins sent long voice notes about unity and tradition. The same people who'd whispered behind my back were now preaching togetherness. Then came on Anya. She showed up at my apartment unannounced one evening. I opened the door and felt like the air got sucked out of the room. She looked thinner, nervous, different. "I just want to talk," she said. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She sat on the couch, twisting her fingers. "I heard about your grandmother." "Of course you did." "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "For everything. I handled it badly." "You handled it selfishly," I said. She nodded, tears spilling. "Yes, I did." Silence stretched. "Rohit and I aren't together anymore," she added. I didn't react. "He was never serious," she said. "Once things got messy, he backed off." I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No sadness. Just emptiness. "I made a mistake," she whispered. I threw away something real. I looked at her, really looked. The woman I'd planned a future with. The one who'd smiled at my family while lying to my face. "Why are you here?" I asked. She hesitated. Your mom suggested I talk to you. That stopped me cold. She what? She said, if we could clear the air, it might help heal the family. Especially now. I stood up. Get out. Please. Get out. She left crying, and for the first time, I felt something close to peace. Because now I saw the pattern clearly. They weren't just crossing lines. They were erasing them. A week later, the lawyer called again. There's something else you should know, he said. Your grandmother added a clause. A clause? I asked. Yes. The inheritance becomes fully accessible only if you remain unmarried for 1 year after the transfer. I blinked. What? She was specific, he said carefully. She wanted to ensure no one influenced her decisions. I almost laughed. My family found out the same day. That night, my phone exploded. My mom cried. She doesn't trust us? My dad was angry. This is manipulation. My sister accused me of planning it. Then came the suggestion that made my blood run cold. If you married Ananya, my mom said carefully over the phone. After the year, everything could go back to normal. I hung up without replying. That was the moment I stopped feeling guilty. Because guilt is what they use to control me. And now, stripped of it, I saw them clearly. The wedding preparations went on without me. I didn't attend a single event. When people asked, excuses were made. Work, health, travel. Behind the scenes, the pressure continued. Subtle threats, emotional blackmail. My sister crying about how alone she felt. My parents hinting at cutting ties. Then, one afternoon, I got a message from my grandmother's old caretaker, Mira. Your nanny knew this would happen, she wrote. She told me to give you this when the fighting starts. Attached was a scanned letter. It was handwritten, shaky, but clear. If you're reading this, it means they have disappointed you again. I am sorry. I wanted to protect you. Remember, love that costs your dignity is not love. Do not let them corner you. This is yours not because you need it, but because you deserve to choose freely. I cried reading that. Really cried. For the first time since everything fell apart. Armed with that clarity, I made my decision. I called my lawyer. I want to move forward with the transfer, I said. And I want everything documented. No shared control. No joint access. Understood, he replied. Then I called my parents. I'm stepping back, I told them. From the wedding. From discussions about money. From anything that comes with conditions. My mom sobbed. My dad shouted. My sister begged. I stayed calm. This isn't punishment, I said. It's boundaries. When I hung up, I felt lighter than I had in months. But peace never comes without backlash. The wedding day approached, and with it, the final move. 3 days before the ceremony, my sister showed up at my door. Alone. No parents. No dijer speeches. Just her. She looked exhausted. Broken. I know I don't deserve this, she said. But I need to tell you something. I stepped aside and let her in. She sat down slowly. Rohit wasn't just on Anya's affair. My heart skipped. What do you mean? He's connected to my fiancé in more ways than business, she said. He helped cover up something. I leaned forward. Cover up what? She swallowed hard. And then she told me something that made everything I'd gone through feel like the beginning of something much darker. Something that would force me to choose between burning every bridge I had left or becoming complicit in the same silence that destroyed me. When my sister said, he helped cover it up, the room felt like it tilted slightly to the left, like my brain was trying to keep balance and failing. Cover up what? I asked again, slower this time, like maybe if I paced the words, the answer wouldn't hit as hard. She rubbed her palms together. Money. Fraud. Offshore stuff. It started small, then snowballed. Rohit was the bridge between Ananya and my fiancé. That's how they all knew each other so well. So this wasn't just cheating. She shook her head. No, that was just the surface mess. The real problem is underneath. I felt a cold clarity settle in. Suddenly, everything made sense. The urgency, the desperation to keep me close, the obsession with controlling the inheritance. They didn't just want my forgiveness. They wanted leverage, stability, silence. How long have you known? I asked. A few weeks, she whispered. I found documents on his laptop. At first, I thought it was normal business stuff. Then I saw my fiancé's name. Then Rohit's. and you still plan to marry him. She broke. I didn't know how to stop it. Everyone had expectations. The families, the guests, the money already spent. So you decided to sacrifice yourself? I asked. Or me? She flinched. Both. That honesty hurt more than any lie. Why tell me now? I asked. Because the wedding isn't just a wedding, she said. It's a deadline. After that, assets move. Companies merge. Everything becomes harder to untangle. I leaned back, letting it sink in. My grandmother's will, the timing, the clause. She hadn't just been protecting me from emotional manipulation. She'd been protecting me from becoming a shield. Do her parents know? I asked. She nodded slowly. They know enough. Not everything, but enough to understand that keeping you cooperative was important. I laughed. A hollow sound. So all those calls, the tears, the speeches about family, that was damage control. Yes. Silence stretched between us, heavy and ugly. What do you want from me? I finally asked. She looked up, eyes red. I don't know. I just couldn't let you walk into this blind. If you take the inheritance and stay quiet, you'll be safe. If you don't, she didn't finish the sentence. I won't be safe. I asked. You'll be inconvenient, she said softly. That night, after she left, I didn't sleep. I walked my apartment like a caged animal, replaying every interaction from the past year, every moment that felt slightly off, every time my instincts whispered and I ignored them because family was supposed to mean trust. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I called the lawyer again. I need advice, I said. Hypothetical. He chuckled politely. Of course. What happens if I refuse the inheritance? There was a pause. That would be unusual, but possible. Yes. And if I accept it and then publicly distance myself from my family? Another pause. Longer this time. That would likely escalate conflict. I smiled grimly. Good. I spent the next 2 days gathering information. Quietly, carefully. I contacted a financial consultant, then an independent auditor. I didn't accuse anyone. I asked questions. Neutral ones. Curious ones. Patents emerged fast. Shell companies. Shared addresses. Circular transactions. Nothing I could prove on my own, but enough to understand the scale of the mess. The wedding day arrived. I didn't attend. Instead, I sat in a small office downtown with my lawyer and signed the final documents accepting my grandmother's inheritance. Fully, cleanly, in my name alone. When it was done, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Power. Not loud power. Not flashy power. Quiet, immovable power. My phone buzzed endlessly. Missed calls. Messages. Photos from the wedding venue. My sister in her dress. My parents smiling too wide. Then a message from my mom. Please come. We need you. This doesn't have to be ugly. I didn't reply. That evening, after the ceremony, my parents showed up at my apartment. Both of them. No smiles this time. No softness. This was your grandmother's home, my dad said the moment he stepped inside. You're tearing the family apart. No, I said calmly. I'm stepping out a lie. My mom cried. Why are you doing this to us? I met her eyes. Because you did it to me first. They denied everything. Of course they did. Said I was imagining things. Said my sister was emotional. Said Ananya manipulated me. Said I was paranoid. I listened, patiently. Then I handed them copies of the documents I'd collected. They went quiet. My dad's face drained of color. My mom stopped crying. You went digging, my dad said slowly. Yes. You don't understand the consequences, he snapped. You don't, he replied. That's why I'm choosing them. They left without another word. The fallout was immediate. Relatives stopped calling. Friends took sides. Whispers turned into accusations. I was greedy, ungrateful, cold. I didn't defend myself. I didn't explain. Because I finally understood something my grandmother had known all along. People who benefit from your silence will always call your truth selfish. A month later, my sister called me. Her voice was different, steadier. The marriage is over, she said. Annulled. I closed my eyes. Are you okay? No. she said honestly. But I'm free. We talked for hours that night. Not about money, not about blame, just about fear, regret, and what it means to start over when your entire identity collapses. We're not close like before. Maybe we never will be. But we're real now. Ananya tried to reach out once more. I didn't respond. Some doors don't need closure. They just need to stay closed. It's been a year since everything happened. The inheritance sits quietly. Invested. Stable. Untangled from drama. I live smaller now. Cleaner. Lighter. And sometimes when guilt tries to creep back in, I reread my grandmother's letter. Love that costs your dignity is not love. If you were in my place, if your family chose convenience over truth, if silence protected everyone except you, would you walk away too? Drop your honest opinion in the comments. Was I wrong, or did I finally do the right thing? If stories like this make you think, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.